All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Wednesday, September 8th, 2021, and this is the final of the division predictions. Later this evening, we will upload the playoff predictions and the awards predictions. So, yeah, we've made it all the way through the AFC South, NFC South, AFC and NFC West, and AFC and NFC North. So you probably watched those 3 videos. Maybe not, because you don't really like those ones, and you're only messing with the NFC Least and the AFC Beast. My nicknames for those divisions, the NFC East, as obviously, I should have put the L in front of them, and they should have been the NFC Least, based on the fact that, you could finish under 500 in this division, and potentially, actually win it this year. Who knows? I have them all finishing much better than they did last year. I think they'll be much improved than this was last year. So, yeah, this is going to be fun. This is probably the most aggressive fan bases in the NFL. They're the most contentious. So please remember, these are just my predictions. I could be dead wrong. Don't be mean to me, Giants, Eagles, Washington, and Dallas fans. You guys are brutal. I don't give a shit about the AFC East fans. All the rest of these fucking Dolphins, Bills fans, Jets fans. Bleh. All right. Common opponents for the NFC East is going to be the they're playing the AFC West, NFC South, NFC East, of course, and the AFC East team. Like the Cowboys and Patriots play each other, for example. Let's get started. Jump right into the NFC Least and see what they got going on. Again, I'm not trying to rip on it. It's just like for a while everyone called it the AFC Least. So, I'm just getting my revenge shots now. I think the Eagles might be doing a tank, so I'm not really sure what we're going to see out of Philadelphia this year. I don't think anybody does. We don't know if they're tanking, if they're going to try and take this seriously. I can't really get a consistent feel for what they're doing. I don't think anybody can get a vibe for what the Eagles are up to. They're kind of like a sneaky organization, it feels like. So right now I have them as a tank team that's just not going to try to win, and maybe they might win late once they secure like a top 5 pick. Especially if Carson goes and plays in all those games for Philly or for Indy, they can wind up with 3 first-round picks this year. So they're probably trying to pick as low in the draft as possible, as often as possible. Yeah, I just see a tank. They need a few things to fix that team up a little bit. Like they need to get some help on the line, some receiving help, a few things on defense. So they're probably they're not going to contend this year, so they might as well kind of just play for a pick. And it's nothing against the Eagles. It's just, they're clearly in a rebuild after all that weird shit with Doug Peterson and the Super Bowl, the Super Bowl collapse, I guess you could call it afterward. They got the ring, but the team collapsed. So I think this is going to be a pretty dreadful year for the Eagles fans, unless you're tanking, and then you're just like, hey, whatever, dude, let's lose. That sucks. Up in third, this is probably where a few fans are going to be like, listen, buddy, the Giants aren't this bad. And it's not that I think they're a great defense, and I think their offense has good pieces. I just don't know about Daniel Jones, man. I mean, maybe we'll see, and this is the year he proves everybody wrong, but it's like I've been one of his biggest defenders, but man, I've been seeing tape of him all preseason looking rough. The preseason game I watched him, he didn't look so good against the Patriots starters. He looked good against our backups, but it was okay. Wow, against guys who aren't going to play. That's good, Daniel. Good job. That's what we expect out of you. I think they might struggle with some of those AFC West opponents. The South might get them a couple teams. I think division-wise, I think they'll be all right. They usually do well. And I think they might struggle with I think they play the Jets, so they'll probably win that one. But I don't know. Maybe I'm dead wrong on this one, and they wind up being the best team in this division. But they could be. If Daniel Jones breaks out and has a big year, they could be one of the better teams in the NFC. But the problem with that is I see no evidence that Jones is scheduled to be like a breakout quarterback. I really thought they should have went and tried to get like a Minshew type or like a pretty good backup in case Daniel just clearly isn't the guy, like a starter in this league. And they could maybe switch to like a Minshew to kind of like soften the blow and soften the cushion a little bit and have like a capable quarterback. I think the Eagles actually got him. But I think the Eagles just got him because he was good for the Jaguars tank. I don't really know. But I think the Giants are a quarterback away from being a playoff contending team. Daniel can prove everybody wrong this year, right? For Washington, we've got for second place, I have it as the Washington football team. So everybody knows who I have winning the division. And I'm always wrong with this goddamn Dallas pick, and I don't know why I keep falling for the Cowboys, but it is what it is on that, and I'll explain myself in a moment. All right. Well, thing I don't like about Washington is they're putting their trust in Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's never really won anything. He's a good story for like the first 9 weeks of the season, maybe 8 weeks, 7 weeks. And then his age and body breaks down for having to carry bad teams on his back. Now, this is a pretty good team. Now, I will put the addendum on it that they're a pretty good little team, this Washington team. They've got some great little pieces on there. Like, they're building a pretty good line. They've got good receivers with I think it's Curtis Samuel and Terry McLaurin. They've got a good little running situation developing. I think they've got one of the better defenses in the league, especially the defensive front. They can just get after you and really cause some real damage to your offense. But my problem is it's with Fitzpatrick, and I don't think Taylor Heinicke's a real quarterback. I know the meme's pretty funny, but like, whatever. I think Fitzpatrick plays good for a while, and then, the typical whatever happens to him halfway through a season happens, and he just starts playing bad. Maybe I'm wrong, and this is the year he finally puts it all together and takes a division crown. But I don't know. I have to see it to believe it, and I know his track record. We know Fitzpatrick's track record. We like the first 6-7 weeks of Fitzmagic, and then he goes from Fitzmagic to Hi, my name's Ryan Fitzpatrick. I went to Harvard University, and I carried a 4.0 GPA, and I also was a towel boy on the football team. Ryan Fitzpatrick here. How's it going? That's kind of what he turns into, like halfway, like a nerd halfway through. Like, he just, this is the dude who went to Harvard, obviously revealing himself. So it's kind of how I feel about Washington. Everything else seems pretty solid. I just have questions about the quarterback situation. Both of them aren't, I don't think, real quarterback. Like Fitzpatrick, I feel like he'd be a great backup guy. Great locker room guy, but like you need to have another quarterback to pull him out when it's time. And I don't think Heinicke's that guy. I really think they should have got Minshew, to be very honest with you on that one. That would have been good for Washington. There's two teams in this division that should have went and got Minshew that didn't. And I'm very disappointed in the Giants and the football team. With the Cowboys, I have them winning it at 11-6. This is very winnable for the top three teams. I think this is still much like last year for the Giants, Washington, and Dallas. Any of these three teams could flip and win this division with any of these three records being interchangeable. But this is kind of how my gut's feeling on how it plays out. The Giants could go 11-6. Dallas could go 9-8, and Washington could go 7-10. You can flip any of these teams in any order. Washington 11-6, Giants 9-8, and the Cowboys 7-10. I feel that very strongly, but this is how I feel it's going to play out. This is how I felt last night when I was making all these, and this morning when I'm recording it, I still feel that way. The reason I feel so strongly about Dallas improving this year is I do think with the change in the coordinator, I do think that might rile up the defense and get them playing a lot better this year. And I also think that the return of Prescott's going to be major for the offense. When Dak was healthy last year, man, they were scoring points at a fucking a historic level. I think Dak scored like 40 in 2 straight games, which I think it was like 3 or 4 straight. It was something crazy like that. It's never been done before. The pace that they were scoring. They have 3 number 1 receivers essentially, and Gallup, who may be a number 2, but that's fine. But Cooper and oh fucking Christ, CeeDee Lamb are number 1s. Like those are like, and they just all get like the great chemistry on the offense. They've got a pretty good little tight end situation if they can stay healthy. They have Ezekiel Elliott, so you have to respect the run game. If you don't, you're gonna get torched. So overall, this is a good team. It's just, can they put it together finally? Is this the year that the talent finally comes together and plays at its level, and they can win they should win the division? Like, with the talent that they have, it's the same speech every year with this goddamn team. Can they do it? But will the coaching hold them back? Well, stay tuned on the Dallas Cowboys, right? Like, that's basically the vibe you get from them. So this is kind of how I think the East will play out. This is one of the harder ones to predict because of like how close the top 3 teams actually are to each other. Whereas in most, you can kind of differentiate the top 2 from the other 2. Like, you can kind of go, well, here are the bottom teams, here are the top teams. The next one's just as hard, dude, because there's 3 really good. Like, you have AFC East is actually becoming a very good division with like one bad team that's slowly emerging as like a budding team in the Jets. But again, this is how I think the NFC East plays out. Kind of inconsequential division. Here's one that could put 3 teams in the playoffs though. Let's see who their common opponents are. This is the AFC Beast, as I now call it. After 20 years of Brady's dominance and tyrannical rule over the division, it seems that the Dolphins and Bills have emerged as contenders, and the Patriots are starting to reemerge themselves up as contenders, I would argue, with all the moves they made in the offseason and the taking of a young star quarterback. And I think the rebuild was over in one season. Will they be the top dog? I don't think so, not with the rookie quarterback. But a playoff team? Probably. Boy, this is going to get Dolphins fans real riled up. And it's hard because everyone's going to say I'm just being a biased fan, but I literally just said we're not winning the division with a rookie quarterback. But again, I do think we have like a top 3 defense and a top 5 running game. And you remember when Dak Prescott took over the Dallas Cowboys and just basically game managed his rookie season? That's all Mac has to do for the Patriots, by the way. Like, if you're thinking he has to go out there and win game, he really just doesn't turn the ball over and throws like good passes every so often and does exactly what Dak did. It's one top O-line, top running game, top defense, not the top, like one of the top 5s. And all the he's taking over a loaded team essentially. If this was a veteran quarterback, most people would have the Patriots as contenders as for the Super Bowl. But because it's a rookie, you kind of got to take it and put him in the wild card if they make the playoffs. But all right, there's my caveat on that. That's why I already know what people are gonna say. It's really obnoxious that I can't ever do anything with the Patriots. And everyone's like, biased. If they make the playoffs, they're losing early in the playoffs. like that's my prediction for the Patriots. I really don't see us as a deep playoff run team. Not this season. Not with the rookie. Let's start with the AFC East. I have the Jets winning 4 games. Not that I don't think they're a decent team. I think they're going to be I think they can go as high as 6-7 wins, but that would take a crazy amount of like just lucky finishes and like unlucky things for other teams. Again, do I think they have the pieces of a potential like good team in the future? Yeah, I do actually. I think Salah's going to be a good coach. I think they have like a good little receiving core budding. I think Wilson might be a good quarterback in this league. We'll see how he looks against actual game speed against real opponents, not backups and shit. I want to see that. I think the running situation will get going. The line will improve in the next couple years as long as they draft O-line now. Really protect their investment at quarterback. I think the defense has like pretty good pieces, but it's just like missing some significant secondary work. But I think they have a decent front. Like there's like decent parts to this Jets team that are slowly coming together, right? It's just slowly morphing into what it needs to with like Play-Doh and like Lego pieces and like Lincoln Logs. They're just a juvenile organization that are kind of trying to pick up the pieces in the post-Brady era because they were the last team that quit trying to chase Brady. The Bills stopped in like 2014, 2015, I would argue. They're like, all right, Brady's going to leave soon or retire. So we're done building and trying to build a team to only beat the Patriots and Tom Brady. Let's build a team that can compete with the rest of the AFC and the NFL at large. And look where the Bills are now. I noticed that immediately. I was like, oh, the Bills aren't chasing us anymore. They're just building a football team to actually compete in the future. You know what I mean? Like they're actually doing the right things. And now look where they are. I figured they would take the division from the Patriots back in 2019. Like I was like, the Dolphins aren't going to be, the Jets and Dolphins won't, it's going to be the Bills that eventually rise up and take this thing. And I was right. And now Allen's an MVP candidate. And I feel so vindicated about my opinions, but like I was so strongly anti Josh Allen last year that it's kind of like, well, I did 2 years ago. Actually, I was riding the Bills' coattails, telling everybody they were going to eventually emerge as that team. And I was right. So I said post Brady, it'll be the Bills for a minute. So, I feel pretty good about that. Despite my, it's just, whatever. We've already gone down the Josh Allen rabbit hole. Whatever about that. But yeah, the Jets, I think they're going to be improved. I think next year they'll actually probably win like 9 games. But this season, I think, is a building year and a figuring things out season. And that's not a bad thing. You'll have another top 5 pick probably. And hey, that's a good thing to add in. If you're the Jets. Honestly, it's a good thing to have. Dolphins, 10-7. Possible playoff team. I don't think I actually have them in the playoffs. And don't be mad at me, Dolphins fans. I have questions. Questions about your defense. I think you have a good secondary, but I don't know what your linebackers and your D-line looks like. We'll see. I have questions about your offensive line, which I think if you're an honest fan, you should too. I like Tua. I think he's a good, accurate quarterback. But again, questions about, Tua. Questions about the receiving core should be really good, actually. The running game should be good. But again, it's the offensive line that makes me really trepidatious about the Dolphins, right? I'm looking at that going, dude, that's risky with the quarterback that they're going with and the run first offense. That I don't know if that's the line for that shit. Like playing some of these teams like Tampa's gonna just could be a problem for them. The Patriots might be a problem for them with all those linebackers and stuff, man. That's an issue for a run first offense. I like what they're doing down there, but I do think that they need to they're trying to get the line figured out, and you can tell because they keep cutting guys and adding guys in and cutting guys and adding guys. They're trying desperately to figure the line out, and the fact that they got rid of Skura and all these other guys, I'm kind of looking at that going, they really don't know what they're doing right now with the O-line, and I feel like they're going to get off on a bad foot of the season playing the Patriots early, who are going to want to tee off on these guys because it's a rivalry with the Dolphins. The Patriots and Dolphins don't like each other. No love lost. Hey, it is what it is. It's an interdivision rivalry. I get it. Hey, we're the big bad Patriots. They're the big bad Patriots. It is what it is. I enjoy rivalry. But again, those are my major questions, and I think that's going to be this team's major Achilles heel. I think they're a good team. It's just like I don't like that offensive line, and I cannot shake it, man. That's such an underrated, under missed part of the game. Is like the importance of a line, especially in Tua's offense. Unless I'm just missing something, and like me and a bunch of other people are missing something that have talked and looked at this Dolphins team. I don't see the line. Maybe I'm wrong on that, and they have a great line, but I'm gonna get Dolphins. We have the best line in the NFL. No, you don't. If you did, you wouldn't be cutting everybody and making all these random moves with a bunch of young guys on the line. Maybe they're all really good, and I hope for Tua's sake that they are. Because again, I'm not rooting against Tua. It's just, this isn't even supposed to be like a judgmental, like I hate the Dolphins and the Jets thing. That's not actually in play here. I'm being very neutral about a team. I don't really like these guys. But again, I think they're a good team. It's just the offensive line is troublesome, especially for your quarterback's needs, especially with the hip situation. You need a good line for this kid, especially if you're going to be running the ball around. We'll see if I'm wrong. I have the Patriots at 11-6. Very easy schedule. Remember this. This defense is going up, I think, with like the third easiest or fourth easiest schedule in the league. All these teams play easy teams, by the way. But the Patriots have a very easy schedule. I think the league get through them a bone. I don't really know why we got such a break on that. Seems kind of like horseshit that we just aren't playing anybody good. It's just, and I'll give you the 6 losses. It's literally like, it's like Tampa, New Orleans, the Bills twice, once to the Dolphins. No, it wasn't New Orleans. We can beat them. So we're up to 4. And then I think the Titans and Colts. Oh, and no, not the Colts. The Browns. Those are and we could win those games or lose those. And there's a couple other ones like the Chargers. There's a few games we could lose. But I'm fairly confident with our defense we'll win a lot of games. We play very bad teams otherwise. We finished in, I believe, 3rd place last season. So we're playing the Giants this year or the Cowboys. So we just got weird easy games that we could easily win. And the reason I don't have us being a little better than this, Mac Jones is a rookie. I'm being very honest here. I think there are games against good teams like the Bills we'll struggle in and we might lose. There are games against Tampa we might struggle in and lose because of Mac. And again, if we make the playoffs, which we probably will, if you've been paying attention to records, we're a probable first round exit. I'll be very, very honest about that. If this team makes the playoffs, they're a first round exit. Next year, I think they'll be very hard to beat. If not, they'll probably win the division next season. But this season is going to be a lot better than last year because, again, the Patriots have made major improvements. They added in Nelson Aguilar. Again, not the greatest receiver, but he's fast and takes the defense down the field, which opens up their run game. They also added in Kendrick Bourne, which provides a similar effect, but he's more of a short effect receiver. Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith. They added in defense. They added in Judon, Jalen Mills. They added in back in Kyle Van Noy. Hightower's back and looking better than ever. It's so many major improvements to this team that wasn't that bad last year. That was literally missing an offense. If they would have had Aguilar, Bourne, Hunter Henry, and Jonnu Smith last year, who knows how much, because they lost a lot of very close games because of a poor offense that Cam had to overcompensate and overwork in, because there was Jacoby Myers to throw the ball to and James White. That was what they had last year. So it was really rough on the Pats. So I think a wildly improved offense, a much more, I don't want to say, what's the proper word for describing Mac and Cam? The Patriots offense works better with a more cerebral pocket style Brady-esque quarterback. And Mac kind of fits that, very cerebral about the game, thinks about things, really doesn't have the athletic ability to just fall back on and rely on, which I think that's great with Cam, and I don't have anything negative to say about Cam. But Mac's play style works better in New England than Cam's does. And that's, I think, what essentially it boils down to. And I think that'll make a lot of difference. I still think we would have went 12-5 with Cam. It's like a game difference to me. That's really, but the real thing is Bills still would have won the division. I'll give it to you cocksuckers for another year. Enjoy it. Enjoy your division for one more year, you stupid assholes. I almost just spit my water out. I'm actually mad that you guys are winning the division. No, congratulations. I think you guys have a good team now. This is going to be a fun little rivalry for a few years now. Mac versus Allen we'll see how that plays. I'm very excited to play Buffalo again this year. I think the revenge, we'll win one of those. It's going to be hard, but I think we could steal one of those games from Buffalo and be one of the 4 losses. We'll see. It's going to be tough. They're a good team. Their offense is loaded. Defensively, they're beatable, but it's hard. It's going to be hard to score with them. And that's really what it is. It's just good luck. Good luck. You got the defense to compete with them, or the Chiefs. They're like a weird version of the Chiefs, but like the early Chiefs when the Chiefs didn't have no defense quite yet. The Bills' defense is pretty good. They have a good corner, but it's just just throw to the other side. It's just just don't throw to his side, to White's side. But all right, that's my AFC East predictions. I hope you guys don't get too mad about the AFC and NFC East predictions. This was the longest one of the predictions because, of course, this is my favorite division. And I feel like I know this one quite well. Watched it for a lot of years, and I feel like I got the right vibes on this. I feel like records might vary, but I feel like this is the order of how it finishes. And I'm getting out of there because I don't want you to see my playoff listings. So let's pop over here. But all right, let's start to wrap this up. It's going pretty long. It's pretty crazy. But all right. So there's all 4 of the predictions right there. You'll have to tune in tonight to see how the seeding plays if you want to try to figure it out. A lot of teams have similar records, so you have to figure out which one I end up putting in. But all right, so let me know your AFC and NFC East predictions down below. I'll be sure to comment back to you, leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff I've been saying all day. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed my division predictions. Again, awards, playoffs, all that'll come this evening after the fantasy draft and all that. So yeah, this kind of dates the thing. But again, I said the date at the beginning, so you know what day it is. But all right. Yeah, I gotta get to work on uploading these all now. So this is gonna sound weird in the video because you're gonna be like, I'm listening to you. What is he talking about? What the fuck? But all right. Yeah, I don't cut these, by the way. This is all going in. I don't care. What are you gonna do about it? Not watch? Turn it off? Probably already not even listening. If anyone hears this, I would be astounded. But yeah, so make sure you leave a like, subscribe, all that YouTube crap, and then leave a comment down below, and I'll be sure to get back to you. That's the stuff I actually care for, is like reading and commenting back and forth. Because I like to hear your predictions as well, what you think of mine, and yeah, even if it's negative, go ahead. I don't mind. All right, thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate you so much. 1 day away. Cannot wait to see how wrong or right I am on these predictions. And playoffs and awards tonight. Thank you guys so much. Have a good one. Peace out. Go Patriots.